Hi there, welcome to part 4 of this introduction to meditation. Why am I doing this? Well, one of the reasons is that actually when I'm working with patients in practice, I'm very into the idea of people developing a practice where they can self-care for themselves, and there are so many positive elements in taking up some sort of practice or meditative process that can help you on so many levels, not just health, but to find a sense of quiet neutral where we can kind of return to ourselves, a place where we can come back to, where we can learn to act in life and not react, because the level of tone in our nervous systems, because we're overstimulated, overstressed, overtroubled, means we are coming from a place of reaction to life, and that actually just feeds the cycle. And to come back to this kind of sense of neutral, where we're taking our brain out of gear, and this kind of return to ourselves, where we can develop this connection to a sense of quietude and tranquility, is, I think, vital actually in this day and age, more than ever. And so I'm doing this really I don't have time when I'm treating patients to instruct people, go through process, unless we're running a course. So this is a kind of introduction course. I have a book called The Dynamics of Stillness coming out on October the 3rd, 2019, and this is kind of an introduction to that, and we'll be developing things further in that book. Another purpose, I suppose, of working with meditative processes is to develop a relationship with stillness. This feeling sense that we develop, if we connect with this sense of stillness both around us and inside us. And as we develop this relationship to stillness, we develop a relationship to something called dynamic stillness. And within that, as our sensory experience develops and we get to feel this more and more, we can get experiences of wholeness and a sense of oneness, where we have a connection to everything, a connection to being the ocean, not sort of sitting as a boat on top of it. We connect. And these experiences, I think, are very, very rich and important. So there's so many reasons, and I've talked in previous podcasts about the researched health aspects of meditation in many ways. Just picking up on what I was doing yesterday with regards to allowing, observing and witnessing. I am just teaching stuff that works for me. There are many different ways to do this, but I've spent a lot of years working with different Taoist and Buddhist practices mainly, and I'm really kind of showing you the stuff that works for me. Other things may work for you. Just one thing I was thinking about was this idea of when there are thoughts or feelings or emotions, there are certain Buddhist practices where you name them. So you say, thinking, that was a thought. Certain practitioners like Pema Chodron would talk about that in terms of naming things, thinking, if you're thinking. Now for me, I personally find it easier to actually practice allowing. So I allow, because allowing softens that relationship, because if we name something, there is a risk of becoming the judge of it. And actually the whole process of meditation is to allow those thoughts, feelings and emotions just to pass, so we become eventually into a place where we're just watching them, observing them, witnessing them go by, and like clouds across a beautiful blue sky, and in the end we come back to the sky. So today I'm just going to do a little bit of another practice which develops our sense of and our connection to breathing and breath while we meditate. So sit comfortably and quietly, and just come to a place where you're observing your breath, your breathing, and just kind of enjoy that sense of your breathing, and practice allowing it to soften a little bit. And as you engage with the softness, just bring in that sense of allowing whatever comes up to be, but just bring yourself to a place where you're observing it. And just do that for a couple of minutes. And as each time you allow something, that mere practice of allowing, that softening of it, that accepting of it, loosens its grip on your brain. It just lets it breathe a little bit, which is, it's kind of like, I think it's kind of magic. It's such a simple thing. It's the most simple thing in the world, isn't it? But each time you allow any feeling or thought, anything that's passing through your senses, as it loses its grip, things soften and things get quieter in the mind, and it starts to breathe. Now just bring your attention back to your breathing, and we're just going to try a breathing technique which I like. So we're going to try and breathe as if we're breathing from a well of stillness. And so when we breathe in, and then we breathe out, and as we breathe out, we soften and we let things drop, and we quieten down into this well, and the well is stillness. And from that stillness, at the end of the out-breath, we can draw our breath gently in from that stillness. Into our body. And as we breathe out, we allow everything just to drop into that stillness again. So it's like we're taking our breath from the stillness, and our breath is returning to the stillness. And as you do that, you'll get this sense that the stillness is growing in you. Sometimes you feel it in your tummy first. And stillness has a particular quality. You can't see it. You can hear it on the edge of your hearing, but it's not really. It's a feeling sense, and it has a quality, a dynamism to it. It's an interesting feeling sense, and I've done lots of previous stuff on my book as about this quality of stillness. It's incredibly hard to describe, but when you feel it, you know it, because you feel it actually in every cell of your body, and your body likes it. It feels quiet, it feels safe, it feels wonderful. And that stillness leads you to a sensation or a connection with the stillness that's all around you. And you realize that there is stillness always here behind the noise, the stillness. And our purpose is to develop a deepening relationship to that. So our body, our cells, every cell in our body remembers it, has a connection to it. And so each time we practice, we can connect more deeply and more beautifully to it. So that actually, as we go through our day-to-day tasks of life, moments can come in where this quiet comes in, everything goes quiet, and this little still point comes in. Have a good day, and we'll pick this up in part 5.